Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another exclusive Motor Age interview. I'm Larry Silvey, publisher of Custom Content. Today, I am speaking to Matt Sampson, an e-commerce expert who can address the kinds of diagnostic and repair information shops need these days. Matt is the Senior Program Manager of e-commerce for Modal Logic, which is an online service information system for automotive repair shops. He is responsible for its operations, site development, and vendor relations. Matt has been with Advanced Auto since 2010 and joined MotoLOGIC in 2012. Welcome, Matt. Thanks for being with us today.
Hey, Larry. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. We're so happy to have you. And let's go ahead and get started with the questions. One of the key complaints that shops have had is the availability of the proper information for them to work efficiently and economically on vehicles. In your view, Matt, what kind of diagnostic and repair information do repair shops want, or better yet, what do they need to stay competitive?
Sure, that's a big question. As you mentioned before, so I've been with Advanced since 2010. We started an e-commerce program here at Advanced Auto Parts, and the initial goal was to create an online ordering system for part sales. That way, if a commercial shop wanted to purchase parts online, we'd be able to receive that order and deliver those parts out to the customer. Obviously, online ordering is very big in these days and times. So what that led to was us visiting literally thousands of shops out in the field, spending every day, all day with those shops for years. And we really had an opportunity to see the pain that they were feeling when it came down to the changing market and information, trying to get that vehicle out quickly. And really, they're running up against a couple big barriers that are out there in the marketplace today. Number one is, their customers in general today, they're used to instant gratification. So they have their smartphone, they've got their tablet, they can look up information online, they can order from Amazon and get that, get anything that they're ordering very quickly. So they want that same type of experience inside of the repair shop as well. So they drop their vehicle off and they want it immediately. They're looking to have that vehicle back. It's a big part of their lives, and they have that expectation that they're going to get it back very quickly. Meanwhile, on the automotive repair shop side, these vehicles have become more complex. They're harder to work on. The volume of information that's out there, there's a ton of it. And it's very difficult to get these vehicles fixed rapidly and get them out in the marketplace. So what that means is, to satisfy their customer, they need the best information possible. And what we've seen is the best information that's available in the market today, it comes from the manufacturer. So really the key here is having great information from the manufacturer, the same information that the dealerships have, and being able to access it quickly, know where to find repair, diagnostic information, and then get that car turned around very quickly. So that's really the key, is manufacturer information and how do you get it. The issue with accessing information from the manufacturer is that every manufacturer has their own website. You have to pay a fee to those websites, and if you were going to purchase all of them, a shop is looking at $60,000 a year just to get access to the information they need to fix their cars. And if you think about it, that's 60 grand. I mean, you could turn that into more lifts in your shop. You could turn that into an additional employee and great tools. So that's where we come into play.
Okay, that's a great backdrop to actually, I want to get into some more detail talking about that repair data tool called Modal Logic.
Sure.
So could you please describe, in some detail how it works and fits a repair shop's needs? And as you're doing that, if you could tell me if that's true for all sizes of shops, whether they're small, medium, or large.
Sure. So from a very high level, we are a repair and diagnostics website. And what that means is that we work directly with the manufacturers, and we take the content that they make available for repairing vehicles on their sites, and we bring it all into one place. So we take their content, we bring it into our site in a standard format, and then we publish that out and make it available to shop technicians. And when we do that, it's available for everyone. So whether you're a mom and pop with a single bay, whether you're a large regional with multiple locations, we make that information available to everybody. It sounds very, very simple. Capture information, it's already available, and just put it into a site and make it available to commercial shops. But in reality, it's actually very, very difficult, and we spend a ton of time and effort in making sure that we do this the right way. So the manufacturers, when they publish their information, there's no standardized format. So everyone has a different thought process on how to put the information together, how to make it available to customers. They're using different types of technology to do that, whether that's things like flash diagrams or specialized color schematics, diagnostic flowcharts. Everyone has their own flavor on how they want to put that together. So the challenge there is, how do we take all this information that is inherently very different, and how do we consolidate it into one site and make it easily searchable, easily usable by our commercial customers? That's where all the real work comes in on our end. So our team is very talented, very specialized, and we don't have an editorial staff. So what that means is, all the information that we get, we're capturing 100% of the information that's available for these manufacturers and for these particular vehicles. So we take that information, we're able to capture all of it in its entirety, we don't edit, and then we turn it around and we run a bunch of different processes on it that standardize it and make it available on one single site. That means whether you're looking up information for a Ford, or a Chevy, or for an Audi, or a Mercedes, you're going to be able to find the information all in the same exact way. Another key component of what we do is we make all the information highly searchable. So that's something that you don't typically see in our market. If you look at trying to access information, you're typically drilling down through a number of different levels and trying to find the information. Instead, we're looking at more of a modern type of experience for that user. So we want them to be able to search. For example, if I want to pull up information on an alternator, or if I'm looking for symptom information, like, hey, I have a no start here, or I'm stalling. All you have to do is enter the search terms, the information, and we instantly pull it up. On top of that, we also break all the information down into easily digested kind of bite-sized chunks, if you will. So if you're making a search, once again, let's say it's an alternator, you make that search, we're going to break it down into, hey, was there a technical service bulletin for that particular alternator on something going wrong there? Do you need the wiring diagrams that are associated with it? Are you looking for diagnostic procedures? Are you looking for repair information, remove and install information? We provide all of that in one easily viewed and easily used interface for us.
Well, I'll tell you, it is really pretty impressive when I consider, or our audience considers, just how many different car manufacturers there are out there, and trying to get all this into a package that is usable. Which leads me to ask you about the kind of coverage do you have? What kind of coverage? I mean, what you're doing is really impressive, but just how much coverage do you have? And can a shop owner get his hands on repair data for all makes and models? And how far back does that coverage go?
Sure, and that's a good question, and it's asked a lot by customers that are either prospective or even ones that are looking inside of our tool and utilizing it today. So from I guess from an overall level, we cover roughly 94% of all vehicles that are on the road here today. And if you think about it, we started at this company. We released live out to the marketplace about 2.5 years ago. When we did so, we had a limited set of vehicles. We had the Big Six. We've slowly been adding vehicles and additional coverage over the last couple years. So today we're about 94% of the market. The ones that we don't currently cover, there are a few import vehicles that aren't currently on the site in their entirety, but it is something that we're working on at this point. And to make it easier for our customers for any content that we don't have today, we also have a specialized library system set up. So we have a team of automotive experts that are handling phone calls, they're handling emails, and any questions on finding information that we don't cover yet, we can still get the information and we make it available to any of our customers, and our time on that is under 15 minutes typically for getting that back in their hands. So a lot of coverage, and we have a backup system for it as well. Most of the manufacturers, if you look out there today, their coverage online is starting roughly in the mid-1990s and forward. Some go back a little bit further. You know, if you look at a Honda, they're going to go back into 1990. Hyundai might go back into the late 80s. But mostly it's mid-90s and forward. So there are obviously a lot of other vehicles that are on the road today that are prior to the mid-90s time frame, and they're still running. So we want to be able to support them as well. So we do have an additional service, and it comes free with Modal Logic, and that is our older model vehicle site. So you can go through it, you can click on an older model vehicle, and we've consolidated repair, diagnostics, wiring information, TSBs, all from old service manuals, and we make those available on the site to customers as well.
Well, I was already impressed with what MotoLOGIC does, but with the kind of coverage you have, I'm even more impressed. I've been around the aftermarket quite a few years, more than I even care to admit, but kind of leads me to my next question. You know, I know there's a lot of valuable aftermarket data, you know, out there that can help techs, and that's being used every day, you know, with their diagnoses and their repairs.
Sure.
So how does MotoLOGIC account for that aftermarket data?
Sure. Well, that's a big question. And another thing that we learn from our customers, you know, we continue to develop the site and add content based on what our customers are telling us. And so we've added several things since we've launched that are all based on customer feedback. So number one, when you look at aftermarket, you look at vehicles today, nearly everything's tied into the computer. So that means that wiring diagrams are increasingly important and more complex. So one of the aftermarket data sets that we give to our customers along with the product are colored wiring diagram schematics. And so these are aftermarket schematics. These have been redrawn, and they're very easy to use. We've also added some enhancements to them as well, so that you can do things like highlight a specific circuit and turn off the other wires so that you can easily identify what you're working on. And it's been a very big hit. Other information that we continue to add as well. We have a service on the site, or a particular feature that we call Quick Specs. And again, this came from customer feedback. They were saying to us, you know, we like the information, we know it's all here, but on the majority of repairs that we're doing that come into the shop, we need specs information. We need things like lubricants and capacities, how much fluid, and what type is going to go in this vehicle. Hey, if I'm taking off a tire to do a brake job, you know, what kind of torque do I need to do on the lug nuts? Or hey, you know, the cooling system, what's involved in the cooling system? If I need to find a jacking point, hey, where do I jack this car up? And so all of these really quick, easy, everyday items, we've consolidated all into one place that we call Quick Specs. And it's been, again, a really big hit with the aftermarket because these shops don't have the time to go through and try to hunt for content. They want it in one place, and they want it easily available. And we're going to continue to add content there. You're also going to find aftermarket information like labor times that are going to tell technicians, hey, how long does this job take? What can I quote my customer? And you know, what can I feel good about as a quoted time? And something that's going to be accurate and billable for them.
Oh yeah, there's some really pragmatic stuff you have there. Quick specs, that's fantastic. The wiring diagrams, you know, color coded, invaluable.
Absolutely.
Well, moving on. Obviously, shops have to buy a subscription for your service.
They do.
What kind of assurances do they have that they will continually get the information that they need? In other words, let me ask it this way. How does MotoLOGIC stay current to meet their needs?
Another good question. Current information obviously is going to be very important as well. You see a lot of cars going to the dealerships these days. You know, they're under a warranty program, but there's many customers that are out there that have been dealing with their shop for many years, and they don't want to take it back to the dealership. They want to bring it into their shop, even if it's for something like a tire rotation or a brake change or you know, time for an oil change when it comes out. So that information we keep very current today in terms of all the quick need to have information on the site. We make that available in quick specs. What we've also been doing over the last couple of years is we've been really getting good at our processes for going back and capturing content from the manufacturers and making it available. So if you look at our site today, nearly every manufacturer is current up through at least 2013, but many up through 2014 today. So we're going to continue to give the most up-to-date information. And in the near future, you're going to find that the information is always updated and always current up to the current model year.
Well, I think it's apparent that you guys are really on top of what shop owners and technicians want and actually need.
We try to be.
But I'm going to put you on the spot here, you know, a little bit, if you don't mind. I'm curious on what you're going to do for an encore.
Well, we continue to get great feedback coming in from our customers and from our folks that are out in the field, and I think that it's never going to stop in terms of things that they're added to the site. I can't give everything away, but I can give some hints on things that we are working on now. So we talked about manufacturer coverage and some of those imports that we don't have yet in full coverage on the site. So we'll let you know that our next two that we're going to be publishing out to the site are going to be BMW and Subaru. So we will have those out and we will have those available this year in their entirety on the site. So really been a push, and a lot of customers have been asking for those. So we will have those very shortly. In addition to that, we've been getting additional requests. Customers like quick specs so much that they say, hey, look, there's some other things that we need in there. What else can you give us? We got some ideas on it. So we're going to be publishing additional information out to quick specs. So rounding that out, making additional information available. Things like, for example, you know, setting the maintenance light. You know, it's very difficult to find information like that today inside the manufacturers. They all call it something different, and while we have it, it can be a chore to go through and try to locate that. Or you just want to turn off the oil light after you serviced it. So we're going to make information like that readily accessible and available. And kind of the last thing that I'll clue you into here in the future is, now that we're getting our coverage very complete and we're continuing to enhance in the marketplace, we've gotten a lot of requests for making our product available in other types of products. So when you look at things like shop management systems, your point of sale system today, and starting to tie our information in to the actual quote and to the job, the parts ordering process, that's something that we're looking to do as well. In addition to starting to look out into the overall tool market too. So if you look at your scan tool, that you can start getting information there as well. So some little hints of what's to come here for us in the future, but much more.
Certainly a lot of things to look forward to, and I thank you for sharing those. And Matt, your assessment of the market and description of MotoLOGIC provides shop owners and technicians with a really good understanding of the type of information it takes to stay competitive. So I want to thank you for being with me today and your willingness to help our viewers who have tuned in.
Absolutely. Well, thanks very much, Larry. I appreciate it. And you know, our site is available for demo for anyone that would like to go ahead and take a look at it. So we do have quite a few cars that are up there. So www.motologic.com, and take a look, find out for yourself.
All right, that's easy to remember. And I'd like to thank our audience today for tuning in. And until next time, this is Larry Silvey with Motor Age.